What's going on, everyone? I'm Sean from Start to Finish Gaming, and welcome back to Ragnarok for episode 10 of the Custom Map Story Mode series. Guys, in the last episode, we went around Ragnarok and got ourselves some utility tames. If you guys haven't checked out that video, in the right-hand corner right about now is a link sending you on over there, so definitely check out that video, then come on back to this one. Also, guys, between episodes, I did happen to do a live stream. It was over here on the Custom Map Story Mode series. Long story short, just wanted to kind of get all the settings right for streaming and everything like that, with Lost Island coming out soon, basically. So, wanted to get that all fresh up to date, wanted to get that all updated, but during that live stream, we did end up fortifying the base a little bit, or at least attempting to. It took a lot longer than, honestly, I imagined it was. But all of those up there are crop plots full of the X seeds, I believe they're called. I'm not really sure. The defense plants, basically. I wanted to set up some defense plants. Basically, I don't want to put a huge wall around this area. I don't want to ruin the view and everything like that of this place. So I wanted to do something as minimalistic as possible, and this is the idea I came up with, which, as you could see, ended up being a lot more crazy than it was anticipated. But long story short, we did get it done. But guys, if you want to check out that live stream, in the right-hand corner right about now is a link sending you on over. So definitely check out that live stream, and then come on back to this one so you guys are all caught up and everything like that. But today, guys, we're going to continue with fortifying and everything like that, because, yes, I did actually get these seeds and everything in there, no big deal, but we do need fertilizer, and we need a lot of it. So today, guys, we're going to go out and get ourselves a Phiomia in order to create poop, but we're also going to go out and get ourselves a ton of Dung Beetles. I want to get 3 or 4, honestly, so we could ramp up fertilizer production. For now, I think I'm just going to stick them inside of the house, let them walk around until I get a proper pen. But yeah, guys, today's episode is all about poop, so get excited. Let's head on out. Let's find ourselves a Phiomia, let's find some Dung Beetles, and get these defense plants going. Alright, guys, gotta love when I do an entire rant and then realize that I wasn't actually recording or anything like that. But long story short, we do have a Phiomia out here. We are near the green obelisk. Long story short, basically, we have the turkey trial event going on. Today is actually the last day of the turkey trial event. So we'll kind of, unfortunately, all these like wonderful colors and everything like that will be gone. But good news, we do have the Christmas event coming on up in the next few days. Anyways, that's when Lost Island drops. Like the previous events and stuff like that, I don't cover it on this series. I'll cover all of that kind of stuff on the main series. So if that's something you're interested in and everything like that, definitely take a look at the main series when it comes to the skins, colors, all that fun stuff. But let's knock out this Phiomia. It shouldn't take long. There we go, 3 shots. Again, we have an ascendant crossbow. This thing is absolutely amazing. We're looking at 206 weapon damage, which is great. I do have to get rid of that Carno, because the last thing I want is actually this Carno ruining our tame here. It's a low level, so I don't care kind of just doing this with it. We should be okay, honestly. But we will have to start going around and picking up some berries and stuff for this Phiomia. It shouldn't take a... Oh, I have 93 measures on me. Oh, perfect. Okay, we'll see how much that does. Plus Phiomia's food just drops like a rock. So, yeah, it's already like 200 down. We'll wait a few minutes and then we'll add that. But, of course, this area is absolutely beautiful. I ended up building, in the last series, I ended up building a whole compound out here, honestly. And it was great. It just took so much work. And I don't want to get to that point again. I don't want to have to build an entire, like, wall around my base and everything like that. But I don't know. We might actually have to get to that point. And if we are going to get to that point, I think we'll just build it out here, because honestly, this spot is so flat. It ends up looking really nice once it's done and everything like that, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll go somewhere a little bit more creative. Alright, so it's 3% per feed. We have 93 in there. That'll be more than enough, honestly. Let's see what we need for a Phiomia saddle, because I'd rather just get that kind of started now. Okay, a Phiomia saddle is 15 fiber, 20 hide, and 5 wood. That's easy. Okay, let's see. We have that. We should... Okay, let's get the fiber. Okay, got the fiber. And got the wood. Perfect. Alright, Phiomia is at 77% already, 80% at this point, and the saddle is just about to be made, so we're already looking pretty good here. Alright, and it's up. A level 170, not too bad. Honestly, when it comes to Phiomias, you don't need the highest level one. You pretty much just need anyone you can find. This will be totally fine. Obviously, higher the level, the higher food stat, the higher weight stat, where you could just put a ton of berries on this thing. But honestly, we're all good. Let's head on back to base, because we are going to need to make some poop anyways in order to tame up some dung beetles. Alright guys, now that we're back at base, if you guys don't know how a Phiomia and everything works, it's pretty simple. This thing will just eat a ton of berries and everything like that. I think I have a decent amount of berries inside of the... well, I might not. Let's see. Yeah, we have some berries inside of the trough and everything like that. Not a lot, but that's totally okay. What we need to actually do is we need to go out and get a ton of stem berries. What stem berries is going to do is it's simply going to drop the food stat on it. It's going to be forced, basically, to eat from the trough, and once that happens, it'll just start pooping like crazy, basically, which is one of the ingredients, obviously, that we need to actually make fertilizer. So, I was going to take the Equus out. I think, honestly, taking out the Mammoth will be totally fine, because this thing just gathers berry like a champ. I mean, look at that already. 45 stem berries. That's not too shabby. We have another little bit there. Not going to try to keep count of this just because it's so many numbers coming up on screen at once. But yeah, we're looking pretty damn good here. Now, next thing we just need to do is, once we gather enough stem berries and everything like that, put these berries inside of the trough so the Phiomia basically doesn't die from starvation. And yeah, long story short, we're just going to feed it a ton of stem berries. Alright, now that we're at the Phiomia, let's get all of these stem berries just on him, her. Okay, let's head on over here and just put all of the other berries away, basically. We can take that out, we can take away the seed. Let's see, we're gonna take the spoiled meat out too. That'll save a little bit of room. 1, 2, 3, 4, can that go in? 60, okay, perfect. Okay, so now what we're basically going to do is we're going to come over to the Phiomia and just force it to eat these stem berries. And as you guys will see, it'll actually start pooping. I think I have the pooping interval. I don't know, I'd have to actually check the pooping interval, because it doesn't seem like it's actually pooping a lot, but usually it's just like a huge like explosion, basically, honestly. I might have the poop setting increased, which basically increases the amount of time between poops, basically. So you're going to get less poops, basically. But, so now we have a ton of this feces. Now what we're actually going to do is we're going to head on over to the desert, because that is where we're going to be able to find a ton of dung beetles. Where is squirrel bait? There's squirrel bait. Okay. Basically at this point, guys, we're going to head on over to the desert, feed a couple of these dung beetles and everything like that, and yeah, hopefully we'll actually be able to get a few of these things. We are going to have to watch out for other dangers and stuff like that, but we should be looking pretty good, and I think at this point, yeah, we have 4 cryos, so let's try to get ourselves 4 dung beetles. Alright guys, so we are in the desert. That is our first dung beetle right there. That's a level 66. That's actually perfect. Guys, when it comes to dung beetles and everything, it really depends on kind of what you want to go for. You can go for lower level dung beetles. You will be able to tame them a lot faster, usually with like 1 or 2 poop, but their weight is going to be relatively low. The higher dung beetle you get, traditionally the higher weight it's going to have, so it'll be able to hold more poop, which ultimately more fertilizer, basically. So it's really your decision, whatever you want to do. I think I'm just going to go for the 66 to start. The problem is that because we're in the desert, there's just so many bad things out here, basically, that you do have to deal with. And what's nice is nothing actually aggroes the dung beetle, so as long as you kill everything around it, you are looking relatively good. As long as there's no vultures in the area, we should be okay. There is a vulture back there. I don't know if they're going to aggro the body. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, cool. Alright, so we killed them. I'm just watching that vulture, basically. I think we're okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. Personally, I've never tamed a vulture. I don't know if they're any good or not, honestly. Let's see, what level is this guy? I think you have to use spoiled meat, and you have to basically just, like, I think you just, like, it's a passive tame, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which is kind of crazy. But, alright, so we're going to try to get this dung beetle first. Basically, all you have to do is just take the feces, whatever you have. Obviously, we have medium here, but, like, if I brought out, like, a larger dino, like a Rex or something like that, you would get a larger one, which will basically feed it. It'll give it more effectiveness and everything, basically. Usually with, like, the large ones, one feed and you're all good, basically. But why did I just hear... Oh, okay, it might have been the dung beetle. I thought I heard, like, a scorpion or something like that. But, yeah, we'll be able to get this one, no problem. We're just gonna have to wait a little bit, because that, yeah, that's gonna take a while, actually, for the second feed. So, let's get back on the griffin so nothing bad happens to us. Alright, dung beetle number 1 is ours. Dung beetle number 2 is ours. Beetle number 3 is ours. And dung beetle number 4. Alright guys, now that we're back at base, there's really like 2 methods when it comes to creating fertilizer. We're going to start with method number 1, which is usually early game, or until you pretty much have access to dung beetles, then it kind of changes from there. But first things first, we're going to look up what you need to, the materials you need to make a compost bin. This is actually where you're going to be able to actually make your fertilizer, but we're looking at 12 fiber, 15 thatch, and 50 wood. So that's actually not too bad, honestly. Oh, we have some fish over there. Let's have a quick look here. So what do we say? A little bit of wood, fiber, and thatch. So let's knock down this tree. That should be enough. Let's head on over here. Get a little bit of thatch. And then pick ourselves a little bit of fiber here. You can obviously bring out a dino that would help with the fiber gathering and stuff like that. If you have a Moschops, if you have a Gigantopithecus, stuff like that. But I think we're looking pretty good here. Let's head on down here. Let's see. Now, just for this, I am going to make 1, but I would suggest, depending, if you are going to do this route, I would say per crop plot, you probably want to make... I don't know, 2 or 3 compost bins, because this is going to take a while to convert to fertilizer, and overall, you just need a lot of fertilizer, whether it's for crops, whether it's for what we're doing here, which is the defense plants, whatever the case may be. You're also going to just need a lot of thatch in general, too. So, how much thatch do I currently have on me now? 200, that's perfect. So what you basically do is, let's head on back over to our base, is once you actually have your compost bin and everything ready to go, you're pretty much just going to put it down anywhere you want, really. I'm just going to put it in the front here just to make things a little bit easier. We'll plop it right there. Pretty much you're going to need to put in a total of 6 feces. And I think it's 100 thatch, if I'm not mistaken. But in this case, thatch stacks up to 200, so I'm totally good there. 3 feces, 50 thatch creates 1 fertilizer. Now, if you use... the large feces, if you use small feces, medium feces, whatever, obviously the fertilizer you actually get will be either better or worse, depending on what size of feces you use. Large, you'll get more nitrogen, nitrogen stuff in the fertilizer. Smaller feces, less nitrogen and stuff like that. So my suggestion... you can use large, but honestly, having just the Phiomia for the medium, this does more than enough, honestly, to just be able to feed it a ton of stim berries, and basically just create all this poop and everything for yourself, for your own, and kind of ramp up this production, basically. Obviously, for this method, the downside is, obviously, you need a ton of these compost bins. You will need to make a lot of poop and everything like that in order to get it converted. And it just takes a while overall, I would say. Going on to method 2, we're just going to go inside the house, though, for this, just because it's a little bit easier to deal with, is obviously using dung beetles. So dung beetles do make this a little bit easier to do. I have PvP set on here, so I do have a cryo timer, so I'm not going to throw them all out at once. Like I mentioned before, the higher level dung beetle you get, the higher weight traditionally it will have. Like in this case, we have the level 98 with 6.4 weight. This level 44 aberrant one that I got is 5.6 in weight. This 98 is 6.3, and this 35 is 5.4. So obviously lower weight, not going to hold as much poop and everything like that to be able to convert. My suggestion, obviously, always increase the weight, basically. It just makes things a little bit easier. Long story short, you're going to fill it up with as much feces as possible. In that case, that's going to be a total of 4. They have to be on wandering in order for them to produce the fertilizer. So that's why you usually stick them in a house. You could stick them in a pen, whatever. But then what I'm basically going to do is, once the crowd timer goes down, I'm going to throw the next one out, same thing. Just put a ton of fertilizer on it, ton of feces on it, I mean. And yeah, they'll actually start to continue to basically make fertilizer. Now, I will say that sometimes they won't move or anything like that, and that's usually because they're just completely encumbered to the point that they can't move. This guy, in this case, will move a little bit, but he won't move too fast, which is nice. But that's pretty much the bit. I would say yes, this is the higher level way of making fertilizer. It is a lot easier, especially once you get a farm and everything going, because these guys produce it really quickly, honestly. Another thing I will say, though, is... actually, this is actually kind of interesting. We're not talking right now. Like, my voice, my character isn't... The face isn't moving. The mouth isn't moving. That's actually kind of weird. Why that does that in a house... And then we come out here, and yeah. his mouth is moving now. I don't know what that's about. But anyways, going back to my poop rant here. These guys will produce it a lot faster, but it's based on what you actually put inside of them. So if basically all your dung beetles are filled with medium feces and that's it, basically it'll produce 1 medium feces. I think it's every 5 to 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. It could be longer, I don't know. But if you put in a large feces, a medium feces, and a small feces, all of them will be converted at that 5-10 minute mark, what have you. So traditionally, it is better to kind of use a combination of large and medium feces, because you will actually get more out of these a lot quicker. So when it comes to these guys, kind of mix it up between all the groups of feces. When it comes to the compost bin, just one type is actually going to be fine. I don't think mixing them up does anything. I don't know if it works or not. I don't know if it affects anything. I don't think it does. I think you'd want to keep the same group in the compost bin. So yeah, we're going to wait the 119 seconds, throw out another one, basically. I'm going to throw out this level 35 in order to take... we have 5 more feces. We'll throw out the higher level one so it can actually hold a decent amount. And yeah, we'll go from there, basically, guys. But, guys, I guess the third and final method is simply just put poop in there in order to start growing your crops, in order to start growing your defense plants in this case, which is what I've done so far. I've actually put about 2 or 3 poop into each one just to start growing these things on up. They will take a while to grow on up, but once they do, these things will all start firing at everything in the area, which is nice. It has its benefits. The Carnos might not be an issue anymore. Low-level Rexes won't really be an issue. Raptors won't be an issue, especially if they're coming from this way. The downside is that, yeah, you got to deal with Brontos, you got to deal with Trikes, you got to deal with... These things will fire at everything, regardless if they're aggressive or not to you, which is a bit of a downside. It would be nice if there was a setting that would only have these shoot at aggressive dinos and everything like that, but I think they become too OP real quickly, because these guys do some work, honestly. But for right now, in order to get them kind of starting to grow and everything like that, I've just put poop in each one, because fertilizer overall just takes a while to grow, regardless which method you do, whether that's going to be the Dung Beetle method or the Phiomia compost bin method. Overall, it still takes a while, but I will say, once you get yourself a couple of Dung Beetles, once you start kind of doing this process and everything like that, having multiple Dung Beetles, which is usually why people do like Dung Beetle farms, usually ends up ramping production a lot better, honestly, overall. Let's get rid of the Saber, honestly, first, because I just don't want anything aggressive in the area. It's just, like, constantly, honestly. But I will say, I'm doing, basically, I know a lot of people have said, like, at this point, why stay here? Just go for another base at this point. That was talked about a lot on the live stream, I will say. I'm doing my best to kind of set up defenses, because I don't want to give up on this base yet. I really, really like this spot, and I just want to overall do what I can to fortify the base, and if that day comes where overall it just becomes a little bit too much, then we'll move base, but I just don't want to give up on this place yet, and hopefully this will be our answer to fortifying this area. Yes, I could put up walls and stuff like that, but honestly, that just ruins the view, and I really don't want to do something like that, because I really like how this place looks. And of course, is that aggro to me, or is that aggro to something else? Nope, aggro to me, of course. It just seems like every single time I try to record, there's always some form of dino trying to kill me every couple minutes. So I will say, even after fortifying and stuff like that, there will be a day where I think we're going to have to move base. It is what it is. I love this spot. I just don't think this area is going to work out too well for us. But, I mean, we'll have to see and everything like that. But, guys, that overall is going to wrap up this episode. Might be a little bit of a shorter one. Got to check through editing and stuff like that. But overall, just wanted to finish the defenses. Wanted to get myself some Dung Beetles. Wanted to get myself some Fertilizer overall going. So that's going to wrap up this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, smash that like button. Questions, comments, leave it down below. If you're new to the channel, or if you've already been enjoying my content, but you just haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It really, really helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.